Hello Animorphs fans, this is an Animorphs movie update. Twitter. There was a post by a movie producer called Sev Ohanian. I sincerely apologise if I pronounce names wrong here today. I believe it's Sev Ohanian. I'll probably just stick to Ohanian. Apologies if I'm wrong, Sev. And he posted this. So yeah, Anish Chiganti and I pitched our take on writing the Animorphs movie. Here's how it went down. Growing up, it was my favourite book series. A year ago, I became close to the authors, Catherine and Michael. That led me to a meeting with the movie's producers. So I believe Sev is, let's have a look. He's a screenwriter and a producer. I believe what happened was that this was the person who Michael, certainly Michael, perhaps Catherine as well, they wanted Sev to do the screenplay for the Animorphs movie. Now, unfortunately, Sev's didn't make it, so his script didn't get through to the end product. But he's been excellent enough to share with us his idea, the idea that he pitched for the Animorphs movie. Now, I do apologise that I'm going to be reading from my Hawkbajir Chronicles iPhone. Snazzy me. But I'm going to read this thread for you and give my opinions on the pitch that he put forward. So, let's go for it, shall we? We met with them about 7 times to pitch our 20-page treatment. Ultimately, the job went to someone else. On one hand, it was a relief because we had way too many activities, or too many active projects, but it was also bittersweet as it felt like we really cracked a great way to develop movie number 1. Funny that he says that, movie number 1. And when he did the screenplay, or the script, movie jargon isn't my strong point, by the way, so I'm probably going to get some jargon wrong, but I'm just going to call it the script. The script implied 5 separate movies. And even here, he's saying he found a way to develop movie 1. These are little hints. And this guy's an insider, by the way, what I would consider an insider. So there's clearly a plan in place that would give the potential for multiple Animorphs movies. And that's good for us Animorphs fans, of course. So let's carry on. This was the one and only time we've ever submitted for a writing gig versus writing our own thing. And it is obviously no easy task to adapt a series from 20 years ago with 60 plus books into a cohesive film franchise. Film franchise! Awesome. But here's a brief overview of how we did it. We started our pitch by listing the 6 fundamentals our script would need to embody and remain faithful and be successful. Because of course, being faithful and being successful are 2 things that this movie theoretically has to get right, to varying degrees. I think the most important of those 2, now this hurts me to say this as an Animorphs fan, but out of faithfulness and successfulness, the most important thing is success. I would love, 100% love, for it to be fully faithful to the series, but I'm very aware that Animorphs is a quarter of a century old, with a cult following. We need success for this franchise to keep moving forward and to get more movies. So let's carry on. Our central theme. There's a famous saying that war turns men into animals. With our Animorphs script, we'd explore that both literally and metaphorically. The fundamentals. Number 1, wish fulfillment times 100. That's for us Animorphs fans out there. Thank you, Sev. Number 2, paranoia-filled neo-noir tone. Now, neo-noir is what I know what noir is. It's like gangster films, like Big City, Night. You know what noir is. Neo-noir, I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds interesting. Paranoia-filled, most definitely. Moral ambiguity, number 3. They're essentially child soldiers. Moral ambiguity, as we all know as Animorphs fans, is tippity top on the scale of important things in Animorphs. It's one of the things that the TV show got fundamentally wrong. Number 4, can you fight to save yourself without losing yourself? Number 5, evolve from source material wherever necessary. Now that, of course, there would have to be changes to the source material for obvious reasons, but that's a topic for another video that I might go into in the future, things that would need to change. I think I've already done a video sort of looking at that, but it's worth going into more detail in the future. Number 6, needs to be fun and funny. Yes, to a degree. We don't want it to be like the Emoji Movie. Right, so yeah, this is going to be a very dark film franchise. It can have fun and funny moments in it, but as long as it doesn't overtake the stuff that's necessary. But I trust that Sev had this obviously in mind. He knows more about this than I do. So, but I do agree, he's capitalised it, needs to be fun and funny. Those are two separate things, fun and funny. And I think Animorphs can do that pretty easily. So he continues. For the Annie fans, that's me. Our version pulled from multiple books to inform the structure and character arcs of the first movie. First half of our film is the entirety of book 1, with changes of course, and near the end of act 2, as the characters are reeling from their loss at the Yeerk pool. The way I read that is he wants basically the majority of book 1 at the start of the film, but at the end, there are 3 acts, so yeah, how would he do this? So Act 1 is... Now, how does that work? So he's got first half, but then he's got it split into... Hold on. And it's split into 3 acts. I'm not sure how he's gone about that, but I'm assuming from the way he's put it, the majority of book 1 will be the first half of the film, and then there'll be bits in between, maybe from like book 2, I imagine, put in there, and then there'll be the Yeerk pool battle sort of maybe 2/3 of the way through. We'd go into each of their character-driven, all-is-lost moments pulled from various future books. Tobias's arc would be from book 3, Rachel from book 7, Marco from book 5, and so forth. I.e., Rachel would recklessly fly into a grizzly bear zoo habitat to deal with her trauma. I think this is a good way to go about it. Make sure that there is a lot of character-driven stuff in there. And I do think that's terribly important. And the stuff from book 7 where Rachel goes and flies to the grizzly thing shows her impulsiveness. Because in book 2, there wasn't that so much of that. It was more about her reacting to her friend Melissa, of course. But we got much more impulsive Rachel in book 7. So to pull stuff from book 7 and put it there, I think is a wise way to go. Act 3 of the movie would be the climax of book 7, finding and destroying the Kandrona source itself. In brackets, no Ellimist, though. Sorry. Very interesting. So, no Ellimist. And I'm assuming by him putting it in there, that means that... Does it mean specifically in this first movie? And maybe the Ellimist comes later? Or is that saying the Ellimist is not going to be part of this series? That's interesting. An interesting take from him. I'm reading it as if he's saying we're just canning the whole Ellimist storyline, which is fair. Because... the Ellimist is basically God, let's be honest. How would the average viewing public who isn't an Animorphs fan deal with that revelation that they've got all this crazy alien stuff going on and then suddenly there's a godlike figure just throwing curveballs in? It may be too much, and I've been thinking about this myself. Do you involve the Ellimist? Do you have little hints? It does pull into question how they bring in some other arcs of the story, for instance, the Free Hawk Bajir, which, judging from a further post down this page, is implied that there will be Free Hawk Bajir. So, without the Ellimist, how are they going to save Jarrett and Ket? We don't know. We don't have the exact script, do we? Let's carry on. We'd lean heavily into Mission Impossible with the action, aka an over-the-top, morph-related heist that could only happen in this movie. Awesome. I like that idea where it's less of the full-on battle scenes and more, not so much James Bond, but yeah, I haven't seen Mission Impossible. I haven't seen it. But I'm thinking like they're sneaking around, they're all taking their specific morphs to do certain tasks and, what's the word I'm looking for? I forget the word I'm looking for. I'm tired, it's the end of the week. Right. To end the pitch, we outlined what a 5-movie franchise would look like. There it is. So, Animorphs Movie number 2. Think Return of the Jedi, with Act 1 being rescuing Axe from the ocean / Yeerks. Funny, strange that he put slash Yerks in there, because maybe they thought they'd have to do what the TV show did. I don't know. It's just the way he wrote it. And the rest drawing from Megamorphs 1. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about including Megamorphs 1, because I remember my review of Megamorphs 1, and I came to the conclusion that it was barely canon. I wasn't a great fan of it. So to think that the second Animorphs movie would be book 4, and then a massive wad of Megamorphs 1, personally, wouldn't be my choice. But hey-ho. Movie 3, David Trilogy, in brackets, Durr. I like the idea of a full movie being the David Trilogy, because part of the David Trilogy's problem in the book form was that there wasn't much time for David to develop as a character for the effective twist. And that was the major problem with that trilogy of books. Great trilogy of books, but that was a major problem with it. I think having a whole movie gives us a bit more time then to deal with developing this character. Movie number 4, escalating war between Visser 3 and Visser 1, very interesting. Auxiliary Animorphs, and ending with the Morphing Cube going to the Yerks. That's awesome. A great climax to the penultimate film. Obviously, hypothetical film at this point. So I like that idea. And movie 5 is the end game. Great, I like it. And then he finishes here with an Andalite Chronicles and Hork-Bajir Chronicles animated movies in between 2, 3 and 3, 4. I take from the implication of doing an animated movie, the Hork-Bajir Chronicles would sort of imply that the Hork-Bajir, the free Hork-Bajir arc is in this film idea, which I'm very happy about. I wasn't planning on sharing our take, but since Michael Grant revealed my involvement and some Annie fans reached out on Reddit, I basically said that if enough people expressed interest publicly, then I'd be happy to share our version since it's not getting made. I truly can't wait to see the movie they make. I'll definitely be the first person in line to see and support it. As for us, in addition to the amazing projects we're producing, Anish and I have been writing our next movie, which is feeling very much like our magnum opus. Our entire writing career has so far been us self-generating original ideas, and we don't intend to ever stop doing that. But at the same time, I'm grateful we had a chance to give our take on the story of a group of idiot teenagers with a death wish. Thank you, Sev, and also thank you to Anish as well, who put this writing idea forward. It's a shame that this hasn't gone forward to the next stage. Obviously, something else, we don't know yet, has gone through to that. And it's also good to see that in his penultimate part of this thread, he said he can't wait to see the movie that they make. He'll be the first person in line to see and support it. So, judging from that, this movie is still going ahead. We haven't heard a lot for a while, but he's heavily implying here, as what I would consider to be an insider, that things are plodding along and that they've chosen a script. That's the implication I'm getting in the background of all this. There is an Animorphs script that has been accepted, or a screenplay, whatever that means. I think it's a good set of ideas. It's obviously counting a lot on the film being a success, because they want five movies and 2 animated movies there. That's 7 full movies, which is, I would say, ambitious. But if Animorphs is successful, then I think it can truly be pulled off. Thank you very much, Sev, for providing us with this screenplay, script, jargon escapes me. I really do appreciate it. And it also gives us a little hint as to what's going on in the background, which we have been craving for as Animorphs fans. And I'm really looking forward to seeing more in the future. I've recently been developing my own ideas for a plot for an Animorphs movie. And that video should be going up, I'm recording it today, but it should be going up next week at some point. And I think I've got some good ideas. They deviate from what Sev has done here. But yeah, good idea. It seems faithful to the books. The first movie is incredibly important to grab people's attention, and I think taking ideas from other books to just fill in the character bits is incredibly important. So, wonderful. This has been your Animorphs news. Tune in for my next video. Hopefully we'll start seeing more Animorphs movie news bits here or there. I'm really looking forward to it, and just like Sev, I'm going to try to be the first in line here in Britland to go and see this movie. We need to support this. I've seen a lot of negativity regarding the movie and people saying, I'm not going to support this if the authors aren't involved. When I do my movie plot idea video, I'm going to start it by talking about why I think we need to support this film. But I'm just going to leave it here with just saying, this is something we as Animorphs fans, no matter what our thoughts on it, we need to support this. We need to step up as a community and do our best to make sure that our franchise lives on. That's my opinion. If you don't like it, you can fuck off out. But thank you very much for watching. This has been your Animorphs movie news update thing. First place to come to is here, right? So like, subscribe, comment and share. Go read my fan fiction. Join the Animorphs Discord. Links in the description below. Thank you for watching. I shall see you next time. Ta-ra!